all must have heard I'm a real nerd. People say I'm a fool, but they never got the news that I'm a wild one. Oh yeah, I'm a wild one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel dialed, 'cause you're watching Wild Mike and his real wild child. Oh yeah, I'm a wild one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel dialed, 'cause you're watching Wild Mike and his real wild child.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm here.
he's a
Howdy, folks.
wild one. Dude, I was singing. Come on, that was catchy.
Well, blame Aberjam. He's the one who made that, remember?
Oh yeah,
Says
I'm the
so
wild
in
one.
the credits itself. So, yes, I'm a little bit late, mostly because I lost track of time while getting coffee, and I went to the guy at 7-Eleven for like 20 minutes, and I didn't even realize.
Oh, it's okay. My wife last Sunday asked me, she goes, "Hey, how was the stream?" And I was like, "Oh, fuck, today's Sunday. I forgot all about it." She asked me at like 4:00 in the afternoon.
Hell,
Well, let's see. Elihu originally was saying he was having problems.
Yeah.
Dandelion's in the chat. MB, I'm assuming by the fact that you're here, you figured out where the link is.
Yeah. And I know Dandelion says she's about to go.
Birds in the chat.
Yeah, MB is a little drunk this morning. That's why I had to
if she has good internet, she listen.
I'm not even close to being drunk, man. I barely even had a
what?
That's why I said a little.
I barely had a sip.
That's why I said a little, not drunk, a little drunk.
Oh, little.
Little. Listen, man.
Well, I actually, well, it's hilarious. I actually, I haven't been out to the dispensary. I told you that, but I ended up getting some flour the other day.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was enough. Well, yeah, it's great, man. I got to pack
gold medal
twice and go to sleep.
Yeah, I got this new thing called astronauts.
Okay, I was making a joke when you said flour. I was referring to actual flour. That's why I said gold medal.
Oh.
So,
no, dude.
Yeah, basically, I have no real Halloween plans this
year. Yeah.
We're not doing no what?
I don't either. My son, my kids are going tomorrow. Doing whatever they're going to go do in Terre Haute. I have no plans whatsoever.
Dia de las Muertas is having a celebration in Oakland today, but I don't feel like going across the East Bay.
I mean, if I wanted to, I could easily dress up my cosplay that I did, my Jedi costume that I cosplayed in last year, or this year actually, is out in the barn, and I got the lightsabers charged.
Well, see, my son is the only one that wants to go trick-or-treating. My younger daughters are both, 13, 14 years old now. And they want to go to their friend's Halloween party instead.
Well, yeah, that's what my kids are doing, basically.
And, of course, Caddy's 19. She doesn't want to go trick-or-treating. So it might just be me, my son, and his mom walking around with other friends as younger kids trying to go trick-or-treating.
Hey, it's free candy.
Where do you go trick-or-treating at? I mean, I'm assuming you're not going to do it in Mexico.
No. My younger kid's mom would not allow them to go down to Mexico with me.
Yeah, and you're in California and you need that permission. Actually, you need that permission
absolutely.
Anyway.
So yeah, I wouldn't do that anyway because, I don't want to piss her off. And we usually just go down to like the rich neighborhoods and trick or treat there because they give out the best candy.
Oh, the large candy bars. Gotcha.
Yeah, one of the when we used to when I was active duty, it didn't matter if I lived on base or if I lived off base. We trick or treated on base, and you made sure you made your way to where the generals were, because man, they had all the good candy.
Oh, dang. Sorry, Bird. Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, dude.
Felt horrible. Yeah.
I had
a few nights like that, man. I was like waking up, having trouble going back to sleep. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I think
your melatonin's off. Sounds like your melatonin's off, dude.
What's funny is I've been trying to condense all my stuff at the storage unit to move into a smaller unit because, well, basically the cost. And I was going to have all the kids ready to help. Mrs. Vile was going to come up to help. I even had a couple of friends that were going to try to help. But literally, like the day before, Mrs. Vile was feeling sick. Vile Style was feeling sick. Caddy was feeling sick. My buddy Moose was feeling sick. So I'm like, with 4 people already out, my middle daughter basically throwing an attitude about helping at all, and my son just wanting to help because he can play my old video games. I was like, I'm just not interested in doing it. So I ended up just myself for a few hours until the battery that powers my lights died.
Well, we're making our Thanksgiving plans because they all fell through.
Well, Bird,
Christmas
when we're talking about
decorations
the
are still
rich
out.
people, we're not talking about the ultra rich. We're talking about people that make just between like $50,000 and $100,000 a year.
Rich people.
Guys, yeah, I'm not rich.
Anyone who makes over that amount usually has a gated house and they don't let you in at all. So we're talking about the moderately rich.
Wait a minute. $100,000 gets you a gated community in California?
My dad used to have a condo in a complex that was a gated community, and his condo was only worth $250,000.
I like how you just said only.
yeah, only, dude.
Only $250,000.
I said only $250,000. That's $250,000. My stepmom has a house on a private drive and the house was last appraised at about $4 million.
Damn.
Oh, Mike, did you hear what some of these little delis and stuff is trying to circumvent the Gavin Newsom's minimum wage law?
How are they trying to do it now?
They're saying, "Oh, we're not a franchise. We're not technically fast food, so we don't have to pay our workers $20 an hour, just minimum wage."
So ridiculous, that kind of price.
Okay, well, they do kind of get around it because in California how this is ridiculous, guys. We don't charge sales tax on grocery items, okay? So if you go to a Subway and you order a sub, you don't pay sales tax on it. Unless
you're in San Francisco.
Unless they toast it. If they toast it, then they have to pay sales tax on it because now it's a fast food item. But if you're getting it cold, it's considered groceries. So I can see them trying to get around that because technically, if they're taxed like a grocery store, they would have to go by grocery store rules, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Did you guys hear about Matthew Perry dying?
I saw something about that late. True yet, so I didn't say anything.
Yeah, his assistant went to run an errand, came back and found unresponsive underwater in his jacuzzi, a hot tub, and the paramedics arrived, said dead on scene.
Yeah, everything I'm seeing here is, you got the Guardian, you got CNN. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, last night around 4. Yeah, it happened around 4:00 yesterday.
Well, I generally get off I didn't even see anything. I'm amazed I didn't see anything about it this morning.
Yvette, are you referring to a Kinder Egg or are you referring to LDG?
Oh, come on. Snowmobiles are cool. Don't knock that Kinder.
Well, it wasn't
Okay,
exactly a snowmobile.
what is Gorilla Random Thoughts talking about? The dumbest thing he's heard all day.
Probably the
I don't
subway
actually.
or sandwich
Oh, that
shop
thing.
thing.
Well, California is very weary, strange with their laws. I mean, think about it. I used to work at a gas station on the side while I was there, and I'll tell you what, the most annoying thing is dealing with the CVS tax. When you're the guy on the other end who has to sit there and keep, I have to sit there, I have to put that, and then I have to hit the CVS tax. CVS tax for the single, the 6-pack, the 24-pack. I'm like, y'all some greedy motherfuckers.
Hey, try buying soda. If it's sugar, you get extra taxes. If it's diet, no extra taxes.
Well, that must be a San Francisco thing. It's not here.
It's supposed to be California wide because of the sugar tax.
No, none of. I haven't seen that anywhere.
My wife knows about this.
Yeah, that happens here. 2-liter bottle of soda, if it's regular cola, it actually costs you about $2.75 to $3. If it's diet, it costs $2. They charge.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's like
definitely
25 cents.
that's definitely a you guys thing, not a rest of California thing.
We have a sugar tax in soda,
Because
so hey. That's why I drink diet. I'm not paying that extra crap.
Because literally, because I canceled the whole storage unit thing, another friend of mine invited me to Dave and Buster's to go to another friend's birthday party type thing.
Skee ball.
And what's funny about it is to save money from eating at Dave and Buster's, we were grilling in the parking lot. So I picked up a bunch of 2 liters for us to drink, and we're buffering.
Buffering on YouTube? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's got to be a YouTube thing.
No, I don't have the volume playing.
I'm not hearing anything. Put my phone on YouTube. Hang on.
Yeah, I don't have it playing on YouTube at all.
I will in a second.
Yeah, so I guess my wife found out about Matthew Perry yesterday when she got home and told me about it. And she's like, yeah, I told you last night, but you were pretty fucking high.
It's not buffering anymore.
I wonder if it's another StreamYards thing.
Possibly.
Because keep having issues with StreamYards. It took me a while to get my freaking account back. I actually had to call them up and figure out what the frick was going on. And they said it was definitely something on their end. So he did a reset of something, and I was able to put my password in and log in.
Sorry, I was checking.
I hear an echo of myself.
Yeah, I was doing that on purpose because I was checking different feeds, make sure it wasn't buffering. Sorry about that.
But
it's fucking crazy, though.
Oh yeah, I've got to check on my TV. Duh. Oh well, fuck it.
Well, in the chat, anyone else there got some Halloween plans that you plan on or you want to share with us?
There's really nothing going on. There's really nothing going on in San Francisco.
I just checked my phone. I have a notification that Elihu's gone live, but not myself yet.
I don't know. Did I get a notification you went live? Probably not. Oh, I did actually. Holy shit, I actually did get a notification 14 minutes ago.
Who went live?
Well, I've got him as live. I don't have you as live, but I don't know if I got you on notification.
Oh well.
Did you guys hear that pretty much it looks like next week, I'm assuming it's next week. If there isn't a deal put in place for the actors strike, they're shutting it down until January.
The strike?
No, the negotiations. You're not going to be able to do what's going to be the point of doing negotiations? You've got Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. Even if they get something, even if there was something, the entire, 2024 lineup is looking bad. And if this goes into January, it's going to be even longer. Like, for example, if I can't think of a show, but did you hear what killed the basic handshake, that it was almost all done and over with?
No, because I haven't been keeping appraised of the situation.
Oh, it's okay. I have for you guys. Also because it's just interesting to me. So they pretty much had a handshake deal in place. And then the nanny president decided to go, oh, one more thing that killed everything. And here's what they demand. Here's what they put in there. They want to charge subscribers of streaming services. They want the streaming services, all your streaming services, to charge you about 57 cents per user, so that money can go to the union. Now, they try to play it as, oh, it's just 57 cents a user. Okay, I took Hulu, Disney, HBO, Amazon, and whatever, a couple other ways. Anyway, we were talking, I think, and just those ones, that was almost 680 million subscribers that they want 50 cents from each.
Let me clarify that for you, MB Geek. The thing was to already take that money deducted from the services that's already been paid, not to add an extra money. They did. The streaming service did not want to say, no, we're not taking our 57 cents out of our own money for this. No, that is what happened. She did not want to add an extra 57 cents.
They shouldn't. They fucking shouldn't. I looked at how much money that would be. It's fucking a joke.
Well, I'm sorry. Since 90% of the actors don't make that much money, couldn't they take it out of like the top 5% earners to pay for it? Because people like, Shifty's pointing out Fran Drescher, Clooney, if they're willing to put up their own money for it, well, at least Clooney, why don't they just take it out of their paychecks? Because, they're getting paid millions of dollars versus, everyone else is getting paid pittance. Why can't they just do it that way instead of putting it on the consumer? Because the consumers already have a lot on us for the most part.
Because everyone is not compliant.
Because I'm sorry, if I'm making $1 million a year, taking out $1,000 to help other people out is not going to affect me nearly as much.
It's not going to break the fucking bank for you. Yeah, it's not going to break the bank for you.
I
didn't ask for market shares. I asked for numbers, you fucking moron. I swear to God, I think the algorithms have just gotten stupider.
See, my only issue is I know that a lot of the, as I said, like 90% of the actors who are part of the guild don't even make $30,000 a year.
Yeah. And what do you got to make? $24,000 just to get the health benefits?
Yeah. So I have no issues with them fighting for those guys. It's the larger actors who at least get the name brand recognition that I don't have a problem with them losing an extra $1,000 to $5,000 on stuff just because, they're getting paid millions of dollars. What I don't know. I mean,
okay. Let's take, for example, here.
Making that kind of money, I would be donating a lot more money to the cause.
Not everybody is compliant. Look at Tom Cruise. Look at Jason Statham. They're not going to give up a little thing. They're penny pinching, hoarding motherfucking great actors, but they're stingy. They're not going to be compliant like everybody else, man.
Yeah, it's like the people that spend, that have the money to spend, $100,000 on tax guys to save themselves $200,000 in taxes when they make, $4 to $5 billion a year.
$100 million a picture. That's not including revenues. That's just
And
basic
I'm not saying
paycheck.
being an actor is easy, okay? I know being an actor is a lot harder than it looks. So I'm not saying that, what they're not getting paid for their work, especially when their name, they're getting paid for their name on top of everything.
Yeah, Yvette, that happened for you, but to us, just remember the 5th of November, clocks go back.
Yeah,
Oh,
Shifty,
God,
you're
thank you for
absolutely
reminding
right.
me.
I know from what I've okay, I understand that Tom Cruise is less into his Scientology stuff as he was, 10 years ago. But yeah, a lot of his money is tied up in it because the church does everything.
Yeah,
Hola,
well, my
Miss-
wife's
of
been
course-
talking about
hold
that
on.
one a lot.
Hola, Mr.
And of course,
Cardenas.
Mrs. Vile's in the chat, so everyone say hi to Mrs. Vile.
Hi, Mrs. Vile.
¿Qué pasa?
So,
Oh,
Wow,
crap.
Mike.
Kronos is
Elihu.
here.
Hey, Elihu. So, Elihu, guys. So, if I take, based on what I said, that 57 cents per subscriber that they want the company to pay for. So, I'm just going to take Netflix that has 247 million. You got Disney, Hulu, ESPN that have 219. Amazon that is 205. I don't even know what IQYI is. That's 128. And then this other one here. So we're talking about 915 million subscribers. That equates to $521,555,000 they want just from the big companies. I didn't even get into the other ones.
You realize
Well,
what
remember,
their revenue is, and the revenue of those streaming services can't afford that, so they can. Remember, Bob
Well, one of
Iger
the things-
took a huge
I
pay
didn't
before the
say they
strike
couldn't-
happens.
Hey, Elihu, I'm not saying they can't afford it. I just don't. But from my perspective, I don't see how that can really work because you got to remember these streaming services. Think about it. It's not just American content. You got the South Korean stuff. You got the Mexican stuff. Brazil, the United Kingdom. I mean, not all this shit gets negotiated under the same contract.
Yeah, no.
And what about the people who live in these other countries? They got to pay for, they're saying, they're like, oh, no, they're on your shirts. What if they don't even, it's not even if they watch the damn show. They might even watch any of the stuff on there that these people are talking about. Because not everything on the streaming service is unionized.
That's true, yeah.
So I don't understand that. See, look, here's my thought. And you guys can take it for what's worth being following this. But based on what I just said, is it just me or does it seem like they had a deal in place and that the nanny president purposely put a poison pill in it?
It's your
Well,
perspective.
Based on what you said, I would probably agree with you. But again, I haven't looked into it myself. To me, it's nickeling and diming stuff. I mean,
I don't know, man. Okay, that part there, though, I know it sounds like nickel and diming, but you got to think about it. If they give into that to the union here in America, what's to say if the UK union, because I know they have their own unions, what if they want to try to do that? You understand where I'm going? You're talking about a little slippery slope there.
later.
Where is Pickles
Sorry.
anyway?
He's in the
Somewhere in
chat.
Florida. He's somewhere in Florida.
I know he's somewhere in Florida. Yeah, my wife cracked me up. She's like, yeah, you were pretty high last night. I'm like, well, no shit. I was smoking flour. I don't smoke flour very often.
Every day.
No, I actually got shit for that last night when I was hanging out with my friends at Dave & Buster's because I was like, only two of us don't smoke when it comes to THC-based products. Let's just put it that way. And they were like, well, why don't you smoke? Come on, we got plenty of you. I'm like, no, it hits me like a truck, dude. I can't smoke weed. I'll stick to my cigarettes because we went out outside to smoke. They got a little tent area for us. And yeah, it was just kind of almost like peer pressure, even though I'm almost 40.
Oh yeah, let me tell you about the last time somebody tried to do that kind of peer pressure. We were it was 1998. I was upstairs. I was in my apartment. I was upstairs with my girlfriend. We were hanging out with my buddy upstairs in his apartment, and because his dad owned the apartment complex, and we were up there. We're all drinking beer, smoking some weed, doing all the illegal shit you're supposed to do as a teenager. And one of the guys brought it, and this other guy, we didn't know him very well, but he was our female friend's boyfriend, I guess. And she did not want to smoke weed. She was very much against it. She didn't like it. And everybody was totally fine with it except for him. And he tried to pass it to her, and we were like, dude, she doesn't want to. Why do you keep trying to push it? He's like, dude, fucking stop. And he said, I'll fucking do whatever the hell I want. And my buddy Wolf and I, we're pretty high. He's like, oh, really? So we picked him up. So we grabbed him by his arms and threw him down the stairs. Never saw him again. I assumed he was okay because we never saw him again.
Well, you try to explain to some people that, weed has different effects on different people. For me personally, weed hits me hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I was going to have to drive home. I didn't want to drive like that. So, plus I ended up leaving a little bit early because I ran out of money. And how you doing, Darren?
Hey, Darren. I don't. Well, like, for example, when I went to visit my daughter and we went over to her aunt's house, my ex-sister-in-law, who I'm still friends with, they were smoking weed together, and I'm fine with that. But they offered it to me. I was like, guys, I got to drive back to the apartment. And, my ex-sister-in-law, Lisa, she's like, I smoke and drive all the time. I'm like, I don't. I was like, I smoke at home. That's it.
Yeah, some people's tolerance is kind of off, because when I was in Florida, LDG got me some 20%, and he was really, really stoned, and I'm like, okay, this is nothing. It's like tobacco. I'm used to like 36 to 40%.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, you use the California grade stuff.
Yeah, but
let's be honest.
Yeah, but this is regulated. This is 20% he was smoking.
What are you saying, Darren?
You have to remember, Elihu, that you've almost smoked all the marijuana in the world, and then after you die, we have to wait and then smoke your corpse.
Smoke your ashes.
Pass.
Anything you recommend watching stoned?
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm probably going to go see it with the youngest and oldest Vile children, because they're the ones that like Five Nights at Freddy's. They both play the games, and the three of us will sometimes, not together, but we'll watch the videos about it. I've only played the demos. I never really played the games because it's not that interesting to me. But I'm enjoying the lore aspects of people diving into the game to find out all the little hidden messages and stuff. And while I'm not going to do it myself, I like watching them do it. Sorry, what was that, Darren?
What's Five Nights at Freddy's?
It's a video game horror survival series that started out a few years ago and has really exploded. It's got a very devoted fan base. It's now got
a Nicolas Cage movie.
Technically, yes, but technically, no. The script that started out as it was a Five Nights at Freddy's script, but the owner of Five Nights at Freddy's, a guy named Scott Cawthon, didn't like the script all that well, but Nicolas Cage loved it. So he still put up most of his own money to have the movie produced, and he starred in it, but they, removed all the Freddy references from it and made a new character called Willie.
You know,
Oh,
I think I'm. You know what? I think I'm with Kronos on this one. A movie to watch while stoned. Heavy metal, hell yeah.
oh yeah,
No
that,
doubt.
that, that one was fun to watch stoned when, back in the 80s.
Dude, watch Ghost in the Shell stoned, okay?
Watch what?
And Chippy,
Ghost
I
in the
did not know
Shell.
that it was on Peacock. Thank you for letting me know, because we will watch it on Peacock then.
Okay, you are when you say Ghost in the Shell. Please tell me you are not referring to the
Anime,
live action.
anime,
Thank
anime.
you.
Original
Thank
anime,
you.
dude.
I wanted to make sure, trust but verify.
I'm stoned, not an idiot.
I knew a
Fair
guy in the
point.
service who had a psychotic episode because he was on Tylox from a wisdom teeth pull. He drank some Captain Morgan and then watched Wizards. Cartoon
Oh.
Wizards.
Oh yeah, I what's funny is
Yeah.
something very similar happened to me when I was 17. I had my wisdom teeth pulled, and I was put on a heavy dose of Vicodin. And literally the next night, I went to a going away party for some friends of mine, and that's when I realized Vicodin and rum does not mix well. And
But they do
I'm
mix.
guessing Pilot and rum also doesn't mix well. So it's basically painkillers and rum. Don't mix them.
Right.
Yeah, I found out vodka and Percocet don't work too well together either. That was
Never
what
done
I
vodka
used.
or
I was. Oh, not Percocet. Sorry, Vicodin. I don't know why I said Percocet. I don't know. Probably because I remember back in the day that was like the two things you'd hear: Vicodin or Percocet. I don't even remember what Percocet was for.
I believe it's just a painkiller.
That's what I thought it was.
That's what I thought it was too, but I haven't heard it in forever. I just remember hearing Vicodin or Percocet on a regular basis when it came to painkillers. It's probably why I said Percocet, just because I actually thought of them as interchangeable.
Kronos is asking, was it 100 proof vodka?
Actually, yes, it was. Actually, yes, it was, because I actually
100 proof.
Yeah, 100 proof, 50%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100 proof,
So
50%.
you were looking for a light night.
Just take rubbing alcohol, dude, and cut it out with water. Same thing.
What are you
Sorry,
talking about?
I'm making the joke because when I was a teenager, I used to drink 180 proof vodka.
Yeah.
You know how they say when it comes to what's that stuff called that's 100%? Everclear. You know how they tell you not to drink it straight?
You mean paint thinner?
Yeah, paint thinner too.
Yeah,
whatever.
you're
But
always
you know how
supposed
they
to cut
say-
it.
Yeah, you know how they
It's
say on. I mean, it literally said on the bottle, "Do not drink this straight." So, of course, what did I do?
Yeah.
I took a straight shot. That motherfucker hit my stomach like a ton of bricks.
Yep. Alrighty. I'm gonna take off for the morning. Thanks for having me. I'll see you guys later.
Take care, dude.
All right, later. Yep. Moonshine, Kronos, that's what I grew up drinking. I think I've told the story many times how my uncle made moonshine for the whole family. He had a big old still in his garage, or one of his garages. He had two. And yeah.
I knew a guy who used to make
Even
his own
once-
beer as a hobby.
Well, my uncle was not the smartest guy in the world, because one of the, I think I told the story before, but when Caddy was about 5-6 years old, he even put moonshine into little small mason jars, like half the size of regular mason jars, wrapped it with a pink ribbon, and tried to give it to her. And I had to explain to him how in California, we don't give 5-year-olds moonshine. And he thought that was the weirdest thing, because it's like, hey, you were drinking moonshine at 5. I'm like, well, I'm not giving my daughter moonshine at age 5.
I had my first beer. I think I was 8 or 9. I was 8 or 9. It was Christmas time, so I was about 8 or 9.
And yes, Kronos, it was friends and family. That's what he would do. He'd make it and put it in little mason jars, and he'd have, like boxes of mason jars in his car when we'd go to Thanksgiving or Christmas or something, and that's what he would hand out to everybody to drink.
Anytime I hear moonshine, Copperhead Road comes into my head.
Say that again?
I said anytime I hear moonshine, most of the time I hear that Copperhead Road comes into my head. Love that song. So what do you guys say? So Mike, I know you ain't been following it, but I do not think, barring a miracle, I guess, I don't really see the strike ending next week. And if it's not next week, then we're looking at next year.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
Well, I hate to say it, I don't hate to say it. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope it does go into next year.
I don't.
I do.
I want to get some work.
Well, get a job.
Well, his job is as an actor, remember?
Well, then he's shit out of luck right now. I don't know. Go do a non-union job. Wait a minute. Do these actors that are in this actors union, do they have to pay dues?
SAG members, yes.
How much do they have to pay? Does anybody know?
I'm not sure. I'm not a SAG member yet. Philip should know. I haven't heard from him in a couple of days, but he should know.
Yeah, I haven't seen Philip in a while. I know he hasn't been on any of my streams lately.
Yes,
David, does it affect voice acting?
Yes, David, it does.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, and so like some of the things I know have had issues with it, like when Power Rangers tries to get some of the older actors to come back to reprise their roles because they film in New Zealand, which is not a union country. It creates issues for the actors to try to come back because of they're in a union. And while the fans really appreciate it when when the older actors come back to reprise their roles, even for it's just a cameo or an anniversary special type thing.
Go Pink Ranger.
Well, yeah,
I don't get something. Sorry.
What?
Oh, sorry. I thought I was muted. I was gonna say something after you were done.
Well, that's about it. I haven't watched Power Rangers in a few years. Usually I watch it with my kids because it's like as soon as one kid starts liking Power Ranger or stops liking Power Rangers, the next youngest one is into it again.
For me, Power Rangers, I never got into, mainly because when it got popular, when did Power Rangers hit America?
I want to say like 1991.
I think I was 92 when Rita Repulsa made her debut.
1993.
Okay, three.
So at the time this came out, the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was 93. So I was 12 or 13 years old. So I watched, I think, one season, maybe two. And then after that, I was just too old for it.
Well,
I stopped watching
if it came out in 93. Sorry, go ahead.
So I was going to say, I stopped watching it after the first movie came out. That's when I stopped watching. I'm like, okay, I've seen the movie. I'm done.
Well, I stopped watching, it was 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin, 1 season of Zeo, 1 season of Turbo, In Space, and then the season after that is when I stopped watching. So if it came out in August of 1993, I was already about 15 years old when I stopped watching it.
I would
So
have
I watched
been.
it from 9 to 15.
Well, if I'm looking at this right, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the original, had first season at 60 episodes, 52 in the second, 33 in the third. Look, I'm going to be honest. At that point, with that many numbers, I actually probably stopped watching the first season. Where did the first season end? Because I actually do know where I stopped watching.
Well, when Tommy became the Green
What?
Ranger to the
That
White
means-
Ranger?
God, that actually means that I actually had sex before I stopped watching Power Rangers. I just not realizing that. Because I lost my virginity when I was 13, and I didn't stop watching Power Rangers till I was 15. I was driving. I had my license, and I was still watching Power Rangers.
Sheesh. What the hell dropped? Oh, my God.
When did Tommy become? I stopped. Okay, this is what I'm going to say.
I think
I
Tommy
know
became
for
the Green and
certain
the White in 97.
I know for certain I stopped watching. Yeah, it was around the time when 3 of the cast members left the show. That's when I stopped watching.
Yeah, that was, I believe, the second season, maybe the third. Probably the
95,
second.
96, and Tommy became the White Ranger 97, I believe.
Yeah, I stopped before that. I think I caught a few episodes, but I think I might have tried to catch back up with it because I had a stepbrother at the time, and he was really into it. He was younger than me. But yeah, when I saw 3 of the characters left, I was kind of like, yeah, I'm out. I was definitely out at that point.
Well, what's funny
I don't think I
is
was
I
ever
stopped
really
watching. I basically stopped watching after In Space because I thought that was like a great conclusion to the series. And seriously, that last episode of In Space is probably the best episode of Power Rangers ever done. But what's funny is like 2 seasons later was a show called Lightspeed Rescue, which I didn't watch when it originally came out or anything like that. But when Caddy was a kid, we were watching the entire series on Netflix. And we Lightspeed Rescue, the Red Ranger in that series, we basically fell in love with him because he was the guy that would charge a giant monster with just his guns and be the hero. It was really funny. And if you guys ever want to watch a good Power Rangers show just for that character, I can't remember his name offhand, but we would continually make jokes about, oh, he's pulling a so-and-so.
Yes, Kronos, I believe Voltron did come before Power Rangers.
Yes, Voltron
Yes.
was before. Well, Voltron was before Power Rangers, but Go Lion Go Lion was before. Super Sentai was before Go Lion. That's what I meant to say.
What I
If that
found
makes sense.
interesting, well, since we were talking about Voltron, I'll tell you one thing I found interesting was when they got the rights to, what they eventually called Voltron, because it wasn't called that there. They get huh? Yeah,
Go Lion.
yeah, Go Lion. What was so interesting about it was they were looking at this stuff. It was all in Japanese. They had no translator. So they literally based their stories off of just watching the show muted. And they came up with their story and voiceovers that way.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
pulled the Mystery Theater,
A lot of
Science
shows
Theater
back then did
3000.
Well, I didn't know. Well, I understand a lot of shows do that now, but, as a kid, I didn't know that. Hell, I didn't even know Voltron was from Japan. You got to remember, it was the 80s. I was a kid. I didn't give a fuck. It was a cartoon.
NB, what's really funny is back in the 90s, the company that actually owns the toys, I can't remember what it is for Voltron, started
Hasbro.
showing the. I don't think it's Hasbro. At least it wasn't at the time because it was a Japanese company.
Oh.
Got permission to actually air the Voltron show in Japan.
Really?
And what they did is they left it in English and they just subtitled it. And it became its own popular thing in Japan for a while. And people were like, they would compare the episodes to see which one was better, all that kind of stuff. And it was kind of interesting to watch some of the people arguing over it, because some people would say that the American version's better. Some people would say the Japanese version's better. And, it was interesting to read at the time. But then again, that was, mid-90s type stuff. What are you trying to show?
I put that up the other day. Okay. So if you drive it to my house, that's what you see outside my window. I managed to find it. I was at the mall in Terre Haute, and I was walking by a place and I saw that up there, and I immediately was like, I want it. I walked in. I said, I want that. And he goes, do you know how much it is? I'm like, I don't care. I want it. It was the last. He goes, yeah, those are very popular. He went in the back. Dude, I got the last one he had. That was the one on display. Everybody else had already bought the other ones.
Damn.
Well, yeah. A lot of times, some people don't want to ask for the display. And I told the guy, I'm like, well, then I guess you're selling me and I'm like, well, I guess you're selling me the display.
I checked the display if there's none on the left. Like, yeah, this is what I want. I'll take that one, man. Give me a little discount.
Oh, I try to get some. I try to get a lot of the displays that I build or that I see at my stores. But a problem is the rule is you got to put your name on the back somewhere where the customers can't see it, along with your phone number, in order to have them call you when they're tearing it down. And if you're like not available right away for them to do that, they'll just destroy it. Also, if anyone else wants it, they sometimes will ignore it and they'll keep it for themselves. It depends on who's throwing it away, who's been tasked, So I don't get a lot of them, but I try to get as many as possible, because like the as much as I didn't like the movie, the Transformers Beast Wars or Beast movie displays in Walmarts were friggin' awesome, and I wanted them, but yeah, I ended up not getting a single one.
God, Transformers. Fuck. I don't think I saw Mark Wahlberg. That was the last one I saw. I don't even know how many there have been since.
Since Mark Wahlberg, there was two: the Bumblebee movie and the Beast Wars movie. And to be honest, the Bumblebee movie was probably the best Transformers movie since the animated one, and the Beast Wars movie was on par with everything done by Michael Bay, which sucked.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Where the hell were the bestials when the pyramids were getting destroyed? Come on, they were doing nothing. Like, let Optimus deal with it.
Hey,
that was my major issue with it. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I actually generally enjoyed the first Transformers movie overall. The second one fucking pissed me off for a couple of reasons. One, there was no reason to bring in that fucking college roommate for all his little bitch comic relief. He was like, I wanted to fucking reach through the screen and choke the guy and be like, can somebody just kill him off, please? His character was so annoying, it killed the movie for me. And then the two trash-talking Autobots that were around him, too. I was just like, no, this ain't working, guys. You guys suck.
Yeah.
I don't even remember I don't even remember the third movie.
My big issue was the first movie was okay. I'm going to say the first movie was good. I'm not going to say it's great, but it was good. The problem is every other movie except Bumblebee from then on took the same formula over and over and over again. It's somehow there's a connection to from the Transformers to Earth's past that has been covered up for years or centuries, and they're uncovering that past connection, and that's it. And I'm, in the first movie,
Which one was
go ahead.
Which one was Dark Side of the Moon? Was that the third one?
Yeah, that was the third one. And yeah, Nimoy was still good in there. I like the fact that he came back just because he voiced Galvatron in the original animated movie. So I like that connection. Yeah, Sentinel Prime was his name.
Yeah, that's probably the only damn thing I remember about it.
Go ahead.
I don't remember anything about Transformers 3. I mean, I swear to God, the only thing I remember is Leonard Nimoy and him actually saying the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. That's all I fucking remember. I don't remember anything else about that movie at all.
Oh, Shifty saying next Transformers movie is going to tick him off because Paramount doesn't know how to make a good G.I. Joe movie. Yeah. I don't know. I'm a Transformers fan. I still collect them. I mean, I literally, as soon as I saw they released another cassette for Soundwave in the current series, that actually fits in the Soundwave I have, I went and bought it. I mean, normally I'll wait till something goes on clearance before I buy it, but I was like, nope, this is Frenzy or Rumble, one of the two. I had to buy them. But, yeah, it's the same movie over and over again. I do like the fact that they're able to have some clout to pull some good actors, but use the actors in a good story. I want a good story as well. I mean, at this point in the Transformers live-action film franchise, the Transformers are the reason for everything on Earth. They killed the dinosaurs. They inspired Camelot and King Arthur. They created the pyramids. They created the Aztec and Mayan civilizations. They're the reason we have the internet and all technology today. They're the reason we went to the moon. I mean, come on. Everything is because of the Transformers in that movie. So humans did jack all shit.
Yeah, that's actually, I think, where you were going there. It's like, yeah, the reason we went to the moon wasn't actually land on the moon is because I was like, that is so stupid.
Well, that would have been a great plot point if they already hadn't introduced that Megatron is the reason we have the integrated circuit and that kind of stuff. If they hadn't introduced the fact that the whole Egyptian civilization was because of them. And, of course, later on, as I said, they're the ones that killed off the dinosaurs. They're the ones that created the Mayans in the new Beast Wars movie. It's just, no.
The Transformers movie would have been a hell of a lot better if it had more Transformers and less humans.
Well, here's the problem there. You just said it. I was thinking the same thing. What was everybody's biggest complaint out of the first Transformers movie? Too much with the humans.
Human interaction, yeah. It's a Transformers movie, not humans interacting with Transformers. It's Transformers.
I mean, all you got to do is go back to the basic formula of the show. The humans were there, but they weren't the focus. The Transformers were always the focus. The animated Joe movie is still the best. The funny thing about that is they had to actually go in and add the line that Duke was going to be okay, because they actually killed Duke off, but there was so much backlash from killing off Optimus Prime that the company was like, oh, okay, this ain't, you know what, we're gonna just add that line in.
And what really irked me about the Beast Wars movie was because I was a fan of the Beast Wars TV show. That's why Ty and I were actually reviewing it on his channel for a while. Because we liked the Beast Wars stuff. It still as bad as the animation is, it still holds up today. It's made, 30 plus years ago, and it holds up today. Especially the writing.
Yeah, it's because of the writing. I think that was the thing. I mean, anybody I've talked to who talks about Transformers, fans of the past, Beast Wars is normally the one everybody, out of all those continuations they try to do, Beast Wars is the one people tend to gravitate toward because I think it was different and unique and it worked.
Well, see, Shifty's saying that Spielberg pushed the human element in the Transformers film. That's fine. Transformers, the first Michael Bay movie, have the humans, have it take place on Earth. That's fine. The next movie should have been set on Cybertron and had no humans in it.
That would have been great.
And then, take something from the comic books. You have Optimus Prime's group on Earth, and you have Blaster and his team on Cybertron. Do a movie where it's just the characters on Cybertron, where the good guys are losing that battle. And then, like the third movie, you have Optimus Prime and a couple, the army guys from the first movie coming in to help them and having humans help them retake their planet. That would have been great.
Yeah, just to not have Cybertron coming to Earth and having no earthquakes or tidal waves again.
Oh, yeah. Or have Cybertron end up destroyed or mostly destroyed. Yeah, that was stupid.
I'm like, what?
And remember, depending on the continuity, Cybertron is supposed to be either a tiny planet or a much bigger planet.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys want to hear a fun one? So take Tyrese Gibson's character from the very first movie, right? Now, Remember, I was in the Air Force. He's a technical sergeant in the Air Force.
Was he?
In the second movie that takes place, I believe, what was the distance between the movies? About a year?
About.
Okay. He went from a technical sergeant, that's E6, to a chief master sergeant and E9 in 1 year. No. Everybody who watched that movie was from the Air Force. We laughed our asses off at how they were so stupid doing that. It was funny. It was like, wait a minute. He got to be a master sergeant, and all this guy got was a promotion from captain to major.
I like that. Which pocket? Left cheek, left cheek, left cheek. Okay, that's authentic.
But I mean, it was just so funny when we went in there, and it was like just a buzz around the office when he was like, "Did you see the movie?" It's like, "Are you talking about Tyrese's Air Force uniform?" They're like, "Yeah, can you believe that shit?" We're like, "Yeah, they obviously don't know a goddamn thing about how promotions work in the Air Force."
And Shifty, back then, because the studios were supposed to be in charge of promotion for the films, and Marvel Entertainment at the time, which was producing the movie for the most part, didn't want to put any money into it because they're like, we're only selling the comic books. They're selling the toys. We're not going to do anything about it. There was no cross promotion really for it. Like nowadays, or even back in the 80s, a lot of those films had McDonald's tie-ins. They had lunch boxes. They had all that kind of stuff. A lot of that wasn't done for the Transformers movie, and they didn't advertise it. So yeah, there's reasons why it bombed if you're not going to put money into advertising it.
Not call me crazy, but when was the last time when was the last time you really saw stuff promoted on a lunchbox? I mean, you're kind of dating yourself there, buddy.
Lunchbox cartoons on one? What?
Yeah. See, you got to remember, we're not talking about the 10 boxes anymore, though.
I know.
No, we're talking about thermos brand hard plastic lunch boxes with the big thermos inside. I still have my Super Mario Brothers 2 lunchbox from the 80s. And
the thermos. Snap lock, right in the center underneath the handle.
Wait a minute. You had a lunchbox? Fuck you then. I didn't have a lunchbox.
I had an Alf, okay, with the thermos.
Bob, I was the paper sack
guy. I had Super Mario Brothers. I had Super Mario Brothers, and my brother had Batman from the '89 Batman movie.
I had a paper sack, sometimes with a smiley face on it. Thank you, Mom.
Oh, my mom would actually put the paper bag inside the lunch boxes.
Hey, she gave you a trash bag.
That was
pretty
her
cool.
excuse for it.
That's
Because
pretty good.
the lunch boxes took up too much room in the refrigerator, and she would usually make our lunches like 2 or 3 days in advance, and they would just sit in the refrigerator. So she would then stick the entire bag inside the lunchbox.
I always have fresh lunch. That's a lazy mom.
And Shifty's saying, hard plastic, they were stealing my day. I'm like, yeah, but I'm a child of the 80s. I was born in 84.
Yeah, I had plastic, not metal.
Oh, God, Mike. You're one of those ones that's Gen Xers. They're still trying to figure out what to do with.
That's why
what?
I keep telling people I'm a zillennial, not a full-on millennial, not a full-on Gen Xer, because I'm right at that cusp.
No, it's all you guys. The 81s, the 84. You guys are just... You ain't like the rest of those millennials.
Hey,
you
I was
ain't
born in
never been.
75, okay? I'm old.
I was born in 79. I was born at almost the tail end.
Yeah, I'm older than you.
No shit, Sherlock. But yeah, 81, I actually saw on TikTok we've actually had this discussions about what to do with the 81s through 84s. I'm good with the zillennial thing. As far as I'm concerned, you guys are basically either Gen X or Gen XC cousins. It might as well be, because y'all don't act like the rest of the millennials from 85 on. No, I'm serious.
And what's even more shocking is you in California.
Elihu, you got to admit, a millennial from 80, a millennial from 81 to 84 don't act like a millennial that was born 85. They just ain't the same.
Yeah.
Nope. I completely agree with you there. Because I grew up with the internet, because I was introduced to computers and the internet long before the internet was popular. I mean, hell, I was literally you had to put like being 4 or 5 years old, putting in phone numbers to connect with universities through the phone line in order to play games with the people at university.
Oh.
And you had to probably talk to the SciSop. Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah, and my dad taught me how to do that, and it would be you'd manually type in the web address every single time because you had to see if anyone was online. If they were online, you ask them if they have a copy of the game. If they had a copy of the game, you're like, hey, do you want to play? If they wanted to play, you'd have to type in their phone number to connect to their modem manually. It was nuts, but it was the only way to play games back in the day.
When I worked in the Marine Corps, our internet security was not what it became, because we're talking 1999 here, 2000. We put Unreal Tournament on the server, and literally there would be times where if you had, and not everybody had a computer in our unit. This was way before that. So there'd be like about 6 computers, and one time, I swear to God, all 6 computers, everybody who was on them was playing fucking Unreal Tournament. And I'm talking the Major, the Master Guns, and everybody else. They were all playing each other. I remember we were watching it. I remember Master Guns got sniped by somebody. He's like, who the fuck just sniped me? Sergeant? Oh, I'm going to PT your ass like a motherfucker for that cheap shot. Now, mind you, there's no microphones. He's in his office. The guy who just sniped him is about 20, 30 feet, is in another office with walls in the way. And, we all heard it plain as day. That was how we did it when we were doing that. I remember Master Guns always being like, I'm coming for you. I remember walking in one time and Master Guns was like, I'm coming for you, Major. I was like, Master Guns, are you playing Unreal Tournament? He goes, fuck off, Aaron. Fuck off, Lance Corporal. I'm like, fucking off, Master Guns.
Like, yes, sir.
and then trying to explain to, like my kids, when we would have a LAN party, everyone would bring over their PlayStation 2s. We'd set up like all these picnic tables in the in someone's garage or something. We would set up all these PlayStation 2s, connect them via the modems, so we could all play the same game at the same time, and have like massive Mortal Kombat things, Call of Duty back in the day. And they were like, wait, why would you have to bring the entire console and TVs and all that stuff? I'm like, because that's how we had to do it. There was no real internet
Wi-Fi. No,
yeah, there was no Wi-Fi.
We didn't have Wi-Fi. We didn't have Wi-Fi. I mean, that's the thing about a lot of them is they don't understand. We didn't have Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi changed everything when it came to the internet.
Well, technically, Wi-Fi was invented in the 70s, but it didn't become, commercially viable until the late 90s.
Okay. The internet's been around since. The internet's been around since.
Definitely. We had Twisted Metal 1, 2, and 3, Vigilante 8, all those types of tournaments as well.
I totally forgot where I was going there. Okay, remember the internet has been around since ARPA, the 60s, technically, but it wasn't commercially viable until the 90s.
Officially, ARPA 60s. Officially, dude. Gotta remember that. Military, officially.
Well,
yeah,
it's like even still. Yeah, officially, unclassified, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, so quote unquote officially.
But yeah, I mean, look at my kids, playing with their Switches, and they're all able to play the same games from different rooms of the house, and they're like, they have no idea what it was like to try to play a game with your friends back then.
Tell them to watch Halt and Catch. Hey, tell them to watch Halt and Catch Fire 3 seasons. That'll give them an idea of what computer life was like back then.
Haven't talked to Bird of Prey 5. He still has an AOL address.
Oh, that was funny. That's funny you mentioned that. Last year we had someone give us their email and it said AOL. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, Bird still has one.
I wouldn't even know how to log into my AOL account. I don't even think I wouldn't even know what to. I mean, shit. Remember back in the day, guys, you get that magazine with the AOL or the Netscape disc in it.
Hey, those are frisbees.
Oh yeah,
hey, they were frisbees.
We threw those around all the time.
Too. Hey, they were plinking targets too where I lived.
Bird was here earlier.
You only needed one.
But oh god, hell, I remember getting AOL on 3.5 diskette.
Sheesh.
I remember doing things on it. Yeah, Halt and Catch Fire was pretty good. I can't remember the main guy's name. I can't remember any of their names off the top of my head, but the only thing that irked me was I didn't like that one of the characters in the final episode, we only saw a little bit of him at the very end of it. And I was like, I don't know if I agree with that. There's a Xenobite with discs embedded in it.
I'm thinking about running to the.
I think I remember that from Hellraiser.
Oh yeah. It was like Hellraiser 3, I think, where they had the pseudo Xenobites.
Oh, I never saw that. I've never seen past Hellraiser 2.
But yeah, there was a guy who had a camera in his head. There was a guy that had CDs that were stuck into his head because he was a disc jockey. But oh god, yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that one.
Well, one of the interesting things I always remember about Hellraiser was, I mean, technically speaking, yeah, the Xenobites were antagonists, but they weren't evil. Maybe evil by our perspective, but how do you think they thought of us?
Yeah, they weren't evil per se, but they later movies definitely turned them into evil beings.
Yeah, and that's the problem. They weren't supposed to be meant to be evil. You know, it's like the whole thing is like, you summoned us. It was a mistake. You summoned us. We came.
And that's one of the things I did like about the remake of Hellraiser is they kind of returned Pinhead into being, you know, not an evil being per se, just someone wanting to grant someone a wish, even if it's implemented in a way that they didn't want.
Now, wasn't there something about the person who played Pinhead in this remake? Was it a female or something?
Yeah, it was a woman.
Okay, and I heard some people had a problem with that, and I immediately was like, do you not know what a Xenobite is?
Well,
I was like,
I didn't have an issue with it because, well, it's a reboot.
I don't have an issue
care.
with it because I distinctly recall they weren't really made to have genders. Pinhead wasn't necessarily a male. They didn't identify them that way.
In the original novella by Clive Barker, Pinhead was basically written to be androgynous.
Yes.
So
yeah, it's like that same thing when I watched Sandman on Hulu, which absolutely loved for the most part.
That was a good series.
And I remember people being like, when they had I forgot who plays Lucifer, but she was in Game of Thrones, and people were like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "They gender swap Lucifer." I'm like, "No, you fucking moron! Obviously, you never read the goddamn comic book. She's actually perfect for the role." Because Lucifer is androgynous in the Sandman comics. In fact, even Dream, they're all androgynous. They're the physical man of it, and that was another thing that pissed me off when people were like, "Oh, they race swapped death." I'm like, no, they didn't. I'm like, do you not understand? What you're seeing is a personification that you can interpret.
That's I think in the original in the original story by Clive Barker, I think the original the only Cenobite that was supposed to have gender was Angelique, and the only reason she had gender was because she was originally human that was turned into one. All the other ones were supposed to be androgynous.
So they were originally Xenobites, and she was became a Xenobite.
Yeah.
Okay. See, here's the thing. That makes total continuity sense.
Well, Angelique like was one, not Pinhead. Even in the original.
No, I know you said Angelique. That's who I was referring to. So I'm thinking Pinhead, original Xenobite. Angela, obviously human. Yeah, that would turn into, Xenobite hybrid, whatever you want to call it. No, that makes sense.
But
I'm not big up on the Pinhead and Hellraiser series.
If I remember correctly, when they were making the movie, they were for the original Hellraiser. Doug, God, I can't remember his name. I think it was Doug something or something Douglas, or I can't remember. Someone in the chat can correct me. But he was going to play Pinhead, but they were actually going to voice him with a female actress and just dub the female actress into it. But they liked his performance so much that they just kept him as his original voice, because he was supposed to have that androgynous feel to him. Kind of like how in the original Star Trek The Cage episode, the Telosians were supposed to be androgynous, so they were played by female actresses and dubbed over with men's voices.
That makes total sense because you really get the sense. Well, you think if you're a species that evolved, you probably evolved upon, based on the way Star Trek views things, you evolved beyond the physical need for gender.
Well, eventually, if you're just becoming energy beings, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to mute for a few minutes.
Oh,
Yay.
and technically
I'm
it's
just
a
kidding.
Cenobite with the C, not a Z. Because the word Cenobite has to do with an acolyte of a religion type aspect. Like a monk in I think it's like a monk in a monastery is considered a Cenobite. So, yeah, it's Cenobite with a C, not a Z.
I spell phonetics with an F.
I'm not surprised.
Ow. Oh. So what are your Halloween plans?
Right now, it's probably just going to take my youngest out trick-or-treating with some of his classmates and friends of the family.
10 years ago, I would have went to the Castro for the street party, but that got shut down and got reopened and shut down. Now it's no longer adult friendly type of street party. It's family friendly now party in the Castro this Halloween. I'm like, that's not the Halloween in the Castro. In the past, no right-minded person would take the kid to the Castro on a Halloween. Now it's kid-friendly, trick-or-treating, dancing, balloons. Like this is not the Castro Halloween that I'm used to. There's really nothing to do now.
And Shifty, is that supposed to be a John Cena joke? I only ask because there's a YouTuber that I watch that makes it's John Cena joke over and over again in his videos. And sometimes it hits and it makes me laugh. Sometimes I'm like, oh, God.
Hey, MB, let me give you a little tip for Mike's stream. YouTube has some strict guidelines when it comes to marijuana. You can show it on stream, you can smoke it on stream, but you cannot light it on stream. So a little heads up for you, MB, okay?
Well, on the bright side, I have at most, I think at the most so far this stream, I had 11 people watching. And I have less than 300 subscribers. I don't think they're going to care that much what I do on my channel right now.
Well, I just want to let the heads up in case he happens to do that on somebody else's stream, okay?
Yeah, I think you were combining Xenomorph and Cenobite.
Xenomorph, Cenobite, hey, Cinnabon, same thing.
And let's see. I did finish watching Ahsoka finally. I watched the last episode. I get why everyone's upset, but to me, I was okay with it.
What about
Excuse
Loki?
me, sorry, I meant to mute myself.
What about Loki?
All right, what do you mean
I did
by
start watching
everybody
Loki. Is Loki been all released, or is it only going to be 4 episodes?
You got 2 more left.
So have they been released yet?
Not the last 2.
Okay. So I did watch the 4 episodes of Loki so far this week, and I don't know. It looks to me like it's going a little slow, and I don't know if they're doing that on purpose.
I haven't actually seen Loki at all. I'm curious what you mean by you get why everybody was angry about Ahsoka.
Because it seems to have ended on right before the actual finale was supposed to happen. It's like there's a lot of setup to a big climax, and then it ends.
Yeah, the bad guy won.
Bingo. That's exactly what I was saying. I said this at the beginning. I was like, we had the first 2 episodes. I'm like, there is no way they are going to complete this story in 8 episodes at this pace. And I was completely right. And they basically, I said, that's not a season finale. That's a mid-season break before during the summer before we come back in the fall. I mean, I'm sorry that
I kind of
not
agree.
even- yeah, I mean that's what I felt about it. I was like, this was very slow paced for 8 episodes. I'm like, you kind of dragged it out.
You mean like how
no
Ezra and
reason.
Ahsoka got stuck on the planet? I'm like, okay, they're gonna get back by using the Purgles. Really? Why didn't Ezra do that 10 years ago? Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of questions on those shit. It's like, yeah, Ray Park. Oh, what's it? Not Ray. He's standing on top of the statue of the father. I'm like, okay, the guy passed away. They can't continue that storyline. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, that was the thing too. It's like, okay, so what are they going to do? They're going to they're going to have to either switch actors or they're going to have to kill him off screen unceremoniously, which I'm sorry, for a character like him, I think that's disrespectful. I actually thought he was a decent character overall. I actually would have liked to have his, I don't know what you call her, his Padawan was kind of annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I do think that the reason the Padawan was kind of an annoying character was, let's face it, he didn't have a lot to choose from when it comes to someone he could pass on his teachings to.
No, but there's something more to that. See, a lot of people didn't like Reva in Obi-Wan because she was very dislikable. I actually enjoyed her character because not only did we not like her, not even our own people liked her, and I was like, that's actually, I think, what they were trying to portray to make her unlikable.
I actually agree with you. I thought that I liked her character, and I liked the fact that she seemed to be a character that we were meant to not trust, not to like. It's okay to have characters like that. Sometimes some of the best characters are ones that you love to hate.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean,
Captain
that
Shaw.
was the thing. I mean, but everybody kept focusing on, the fact that she was black. It's like when I watched the episodes, I was like, I heard all that shit. And I watched the episodes. I'm like, my first thought when I started seeing how her character was in that episode, I was like, she is meant to be not liked. She is purposely meant to be not liked.
I'm like, this one's a
it
bitch.
is
I love this character.
and the thing was, the Grand Inquisitor, she got it. She was at odds with the Grand Inquisitor. She was at odds with her brother and sister in that. But, it was just, I was like, okay, I get it. She purposely is doing this. This is how she's doing it. And they make it sound like she, they keep her around because of special talent, which turns out we all find out in the end that's not really true. They kept her around for another reason. But either or, the thing was she was meant to be unlikable, and that's what I found enjoyable about the character. It was nobody liked her. And that was the point. I thought
it reminds me of
done well.
Well, it reminds me, as much as I don't like J.K. Rowling anymore, during that one Harry Potter movie with Dolores Umbridge, the witch that was always in pink, that always was sickly sweet, but she was just a total bitch. The actress nailed it because everybody hates that character and hated her portrayal, but she was meant to be hated, so the actress did a fucking fantastic job.
Well, what the actress did also, I mean, think about it. Look how she's dressed versus how she acts. It is the perfect yin and yang. I don't know if yin and yang is the right word, but almost the perfect camouflage.
Sweet, short,
because she was universally hated, but the thing is, her character was universally hated, but the actor herself is fucking loved for how she made that character so hateable. I mean, that's talent.
Look at Susan Lucci. Everybody hated that character. They even call Susan Lucci a bitch, but she's supposed to be the nicest woman in Hollywood.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with making a character unlikable if it's for a specific reason. And in Reva's case, I felt it was warranted.
Did I kind of age myself by saying Susan Lucci?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the reference you're referring to, bud.
Soap opera star. Character was considered the biggest bitch on television. People hated the character, but they loved the actress.
Oh, the blonde chick from Days of Our Lives?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, people treated her like shit, but she's like the nice person in Hollywood.
No, I know who you're talking about. Yes, I know who you're talking about. I remember my mom, because my mom always watched that. So during the summertime, guess what I was watching? Like every other kid.
Soap opera.
And I remember my mom watched, I think it was the Soap Opera Awards, and she got an award, and she came up and said, "I am so thankful to the fans who love to hate me." Because yes, she was a very.
I think I'm a bit young for that reference because I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I've never watched a soap opera in my life.
Oh.
Well, it was yeah. But I mean, no, I know the character, I know the lady, I know who he's talking about. And yes, she was absolutely despised for so many reasons, but she was just loved for that. It was like, what evil, it was literally like, what evil, crazy shit is she going to do next?
Yeah.
What underhanded thing is she going to do next? Dude, I remember when this is dating myself. I remember when Lucas killed her fiance or her husband and Franco. God, I can't believe I remember that. Because he was about to kill her, and she ended up going to prison and almost got the needle before he confessed. Jesus Christ, I'm dating myself.
You are old, man. I don't remember all that.
No, I don't know why I remember. Well, you reminded me of the character, and that popped up in my head.
Okay.
I mean, that was kind of a big moment at that point.
I mean,
prior to that, I remember her character trying to break up a couple other characters.
Yeah, when somebody says character you love to hate, first person comes to my mind is Susan Lucci. I'm like, the epitome of that statement.
Sorry, Shifty. I love me some Days of Our Lives. Well, I quit watching like 10 years back. I can honestly say I've never seen an episode of any of those shows unless it was like playing at a hospital waiting room and you couldn't even hear it anyway.
I stopped watching when Luke and Laura got married.
No, they didn't. Yes, I think we are talking about Sammy, aren't we? And actually, Kristen and Susan. She played a couple of different characters.
Yeah, we are dating ourselves.
Yeah, Allison Sweeney. Yeah, we are talking about Sammy. Yeah. She was that character on the soap operas everybody loved to hate. No, I mean, seriously, if you're talking about a character people knew, I swear to God, I'd be in school sometimes, and we'd hear something about that, and somebody be like, "Oh my God, somebody's Sammying here." I cannot believe we actually said that, or the fact that most of us knew the references.
All right, I'm going to change the subject because I have nothing to add to a conversation about soap operas. One of the things I did watch this week, which I was thoroughly impressed by, I thought it was going to be a shitty movie, but by the title and the poster, I had to watch it. It's something called Totally Killer. Have any of you guys seen it?
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
It was released this year. All I'm going to tell you to describe it is it's a slasher movie combined with Hot Tub Time Machine.
Totally Killer? Let's see
Yeah.
if it's right here. Hang on.
Totally Killer 2023.
I'm seeing if it popped up yet. Totally Killer. Nope. Right here it is. Hang on. Totally Killer.
Yeah.
Let's see. Stop my playing. Stuff in the
Okay,
brain.
guys, I'm gonna have to confess something. I've never seen Hot Tub Time Machine.
When the infamous Sweet 16 killer returns 35 years after his first murder spree to claim another victim, 17-year-old Jamie accidentally travels back in time to 1987, determined to stop the killer before he can start. Comedy horror.
Yeah,
Okay.
I actually enjoyed it. It was much better. There was another movie I was trying to watch that was called like The Dollhouse Murders or something like that. And I literally stopped like 25 minutes in because the editing and the acting was just so bad. But it had a good. Go ahead.
Kind of like the new Goosebumps show.
The what?
The new Goosebumps.
I haven't seen it.
Don't bother with it. The first one's stupid. I'm like, this is not real Goosebumps.
I didn't even watch I haven't even watched the other Jack Black Goosebumps movies. I only watched the first one with Caddy.
This is a new TV show. It's like Jack Black is better. This TV show sucks. It's not real Goosebumps.
I never read Goosebumps.
It was my first horror thing. I loved it. I loved the twist endings as a kid.
Oh yeah, as a kid, I used to devour those books. There'd be like a book fair at school. I'd spend all of my allowance on getting as many of those Goosebumps books that I didn't already have, and literally that night I would have read at least 2 of them.
I wasn't reading back then. I didn't start getting into reading until the 90s, and my horror books were Stephen King novels.
Yeah, that's when I graduated Stephen King after Goosebumps.
Hey, what was the name of that Nickelodeon show? Was it the one that kind of did the Goosebumps thing?
Erie, Indiana?
No, not Erie,
Are You
Indiana.
Afraid of the Dark?
Was it Are You Afraid of the Dark? Was that the title? Because that's what came to my mind. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Because that was
where they had the Campfire Society and they would tell scary stories.
Yes.
Yes. That was Are You Afraid of the Dark? I loved that show as a kid.
Yes, I love that show. I loved how they would do it, kind of doing a Rod Serling thing where they'd be like, submit it for your approval. Always got good. And it is being a big a fan of Twilight Zone as I am. Always got, pun intended, goosebumps when the kid would say that. Because for me, I wasn't reading. So for me, Are You Afraid of the Dark was what I knew as Goosebumps.
Well, see, Are You Afraid of the Dark was kind of like Tales from the Dark Side or what is it?
Tales from the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt for kids. And back then, even my dad let me watch Tales from the Crypt and Tales from the Dark Side. So,
be right back.
Okay, back then, Tales from the Crypt was literally a family show in my house. That was like, we're watching Tales from the Crypt. You want to watch it? Hell yes. Fuck, you be at school and everybody be like, did you see Tales from the Crypt? Yes, kiddies. I never saw Erie, Indiana. I don't even know what it's about. What is that about, guys? What is Erie, Indiana about?
Sorry, I accidentally muted the stream for myself. Erie, Indiana was a kids show, kind of like a Supernatural Day, but it was with a kid who was investigating supernatural things that happened in his town. I don't really remember all that much other than the episode with the tornado.
I remember the name vaguely, like really vaguely, but I never saw any of that. So
NBC. I believe it was from on NBC.
It was definitely after your time.
Yeah, no clue. That's okay.
God damn it.
I'm sure I can find it if I really want to look at it. But Yeah, Are You Afraid of the Dark? I thought, was really great at telling campfire stories. I mean, it was kind of like, what you kind of always thought sitting around the campfire would be like.
That's somebody echoing.
Sorry, hold on.
Yeah,
There we
it's
go.
not me.
Might have heard a little bit of an echo. It was me.
Ah.
I'm surprised Bird or LDG in here.
They were here in the chat earlier. But one of the reasons I liked Are You Afraid of the Dark is because that was something I did as a kid. We would go out to the big field that was next to the house, and we'd build a campfire, and we'd tell scary stories to each other.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Or
as I said, I didn't get that luxury, though, unfortunately, because it bounced around so much.
I'm sorry, guys, but these guys just
yeah.
these guys just want the internet.
Yes, they did.
Do you recognize this couple, Mike?
Yes, dude. I have the entire series in my house. Is.
That is Cora Nemec and Sabrina Nova.
I was making it.
Oh.
Elihu.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna say it very clear. I never would have agreed to the idea of a Married with Children reboot. I'd be willing to see the pilot.
With these two guys? Yeah.
Yes. Why the fuck
okay,
not?
But hold on. Are you saying set in the 90s when the show was originally airing, or set as a reboot taking place today?
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know. What I don't know who Kornamic is. I don't know who the other person is.
Sabrina?
That's his wife.
Oh, that's his wife?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think it'd work? I mean, do you think the Bundys could work in today's era? I mean, you'd have to change up Kelly big time. Kelly would probably not be as seductive as she was with the men physically because of the internet. You'd have to probably make her more like a TikTok sensation or something like that.
Or ditzy blondness.
Well, yeah, the ditzy blondness, but she'd be like the one who's into that social media stuff. Obviously, that would be her character. What do you think they'd do with Bud? Elihu, Mike? How would you update
he'd be like
Bud?
an otaku.
What?
I turn him into an otaku. Basically a kid who's really into nerdy stuff, but likes to just hang out in his basement and play video games, and make him kind of an incel. You know what I mean?
Actually,
somebody thinks that. You know what I mean?
I don't know what an incel actually. I don't know the term incel. I'm sorry. I'm ignorant of that term.
An incel is like is a guy who thinks he deserves a woman just because he's a nice guy.
What would okay. Sounds good. What do you think, Elihu? I think that would work.
Yeah.
I would say to honor the past, maybe when he's doing, I would say maybe if he's doing like streaming video games or something, he does like a little rapping and calls himself like Grandmaster. Yeah. You know, his handle will be like Grandmaster B. You know, that would be a good homage to the old one. What would Al's dead end job be? Because
I would have Al as
a mall security guard.
No.
Because malls are a dying breed. He's at a dying mall security guard.
No, because then because mall security guards have too much power. He needs someone where he has no power.
Okay, customer service return at a Kmart or Macy's.
No, more like I would say
go a good. What is a good dead end job for?
Fast food.
No, we can't. No, it can't be fast food. That's too obvious. You got to go something unique. What's a unique dead-end job right now going on?
Taxi driver.
No, you can't
Yeah, I
have
got
him running around. It's got to be in a box. It's got to be in some kind of box store.
No, I got it.
He's got to be in a box store because box stores are dying.
Remember, he likes to be able to make fun of people who, he doesn't like inside the store. He owns a tobacco store.
No,
he
Radio Shack. He works at a Radio Shack.
Good choice. Good choice. He owns the tobacco store.
Because then he gets to make fun of the hippies that want to do the vape products or stuff like that. And then he has to deal with the older cranky people that just want their old tobacco type stuff.
Wait. They're in Illinois, right?
Yeah. Something like that.
A dispensary.
No, dispensary would be too modern for him. He has to be something that's still slightly out of. So
no.
I think a tobacco store is perfect, especially if he himself doesn't smoke.
Okay, how about this? How about a newspaper salesman, newspaper stand? Works at a newspaper stand. You know, got all the lingering people. Hold on. Read like a library.
I guess we're having issues because Bird's saying, "Did the stream end?"
I'm still
saying, "Are there people here?"
Is the stream ended? Let me go with my
What's going
phone
on
here. I don't know. Let me go to my phone. I'll find out.
I don't know. Well, I'm shedding test. So
I'm seeing live right now. The stream is going on still. See? It's still going on.
When did we cut out?
I don't know. We're still on.
Newspaper salesman. Nah, he wouldn't have enough interactivity with people.
At a newsstand, will they sell magazines and newspapers at a kiosk?
What about an ice cream salesman? Working in an ice cream truck.
How about a Subway?
Honestly, I think the smoke shop's the best idea.
Subway employee.
Okay. All right, Mike. I'll go with you. Pitch the idea of him working in the shop and why that would work with customers.
He himself doesn't actually work there, or he himself doesn't smoke. But say out of high school, the only job he could get was working for Peggy's dad at the smoke shop. So now he runs the store, but he still technically works for his wife's dad. So he has oblique power, like he has power for the store, but he's not the owner, so he can't do much to change anything. And the dad is always trying to push whatever's new and fad on him to sell to the people. And he's like, "Oh, you gotta push the grape flavored vape stuff." And he's like, "Vaping's for losers anyway." But of course, he also has like the cantankerous old women who come in for their Virginia Slim.
You want to change the backstory of the wankers? The inbred
No, actually,
wankers?
I did. No, shut up, man. I think Mike's onto something here. Continue, Mike.
So, like, occasionally he'll have like his regulars that come in, like the old lady who just wants her carton of Virginia Slims, and always gives him gruff about it every time. And he's always like, he has to like try to push those new products on her, and she's like, "Fuck you, just give me my Virginia Slims." And he'd return with a retort about her weight or her, the fact that she's old or something like that. And then you could have the person who comes, the occasional person comes in coughing up a storm.
Yeah, exactly. I would make it a point to make it about, in the shoe department, he made fun of the women always about the size 5s and everything. I would start making fun of the the effects of smoking. And Mike, you and I have been smoke. We're all smokers here. Then they're done that. We all know the effects of nicotine on the body.
Well, we could also like have people come in who are, having the guy coming in is coughing up a storm and says, give me the pack of Reds unfiltered. He's like, "Are you sure you don't want me to pack your mouth?"
And then you have another guy occasionally come in. Give me a bag of Lucky Stripes non-filtered.
You mean with the voice box? With the voice
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
You could,
that guy.
or you could have like to bring in the rednecks. You could have the rednecks that come in just looking for some dip, that kind of stuff. You can make redneck for it.
Yeah, man. I want some of that skull chew, man. I want some. Okay, do you want to try the new chew, the old chew? No, man, I want the same fucking chew I always get. Why you gotta push this shit on me? Because my fat ass boss makes me.
Hey, Mike, how long are you gonna be streaming for?
I have no idea why.
Because I'm gonna run to the pastry shop. It'll be about 10 minutes.
Well, if you guys, I don't know if the poll is still up. When I just tried to check it, it was down. I don't know if that's because I'm the, it's my channel. So if you dismiss the poll, you'll be able to come on up if you can.
Okay, I'll be back. I need something to eat.
Okay, dude, you got my brain going here with this. Probably because I had a little weed, but seriously, I want to tell you that actually sounds like a great idea.
And I would have Al as the type of guy who was born like 1990, 1991, so he has no idea of the 90s culture too much.
Yeah.
And Bird is here, so we got Bird. So Bird, say your thing.
Is the stream on or did it die?
Yes.
It's still streaming on my phone, and that's not connected to the internet.
Yeah, I see it's still streaming for you. For me, it's dead.
Really?
I'm still streaming fine. I'm still seeing. Huh. Oh, by the way, Bird. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
All right, I'm gonna check.
Hello, world. It's Birdo Prey 5. Kapla. Apparently, Kronos and LDG can hear me. So it's just my stream that's dead. I'm glad I checked.
Right, but I would have Al as the guy who was born in the 90s but missed the 90s and has nothing but nostalgia for the adult aspects of the 90s.
That would make Bird. So what we're talking about is we kind of got on this idea of how to update Married with Children based on the picture that Elihu brought up.
I got that much.
Yeah. So we've been and Vile Mike pitched actually I think the best dead end job for Al I think he can have. The son-in-law job. Think about it, Mike. You hit the nail on the head there. He's stuck in the son-in-law job.
Sounds a lot
as I said, I like the idea of him working at a tobacco shop or smoke shop, but he doesn't smoke himself because that would make it even more of a pain in the ass for him.
Well, it would work perfectly because remember he worked at where? A women's shoe store, not a shoe store, a women's only shoe store. So
it's
actually,
what you're saying to beat that.
So what you're saying actually would fit within character for a modern audience. Pun intended.
And it would work because you got obviously introduce the smoking weed aspect at some point if it's ever legalized in that area. So now he's got to start pushing weed.
Chicago.
Since he's someone who generates the 90s, he would hate weed.
Okay, but here's the thing. Weed is legal in Illinois, so we'd have to move them to another area where weed is not necessarily legal.
Well, I would say anywhere in the Midwest would work for a show like this.
No, you'd have to move it from Illinois to Indiana because you got to understand Indiana. If you look at a weed map around us, we're the only ones who have no. We don't have any medical. We don't have any recreational. Everybody around us does, but not us.
That's fine by me because let's face it. I've driven through both Illinois and Indiana. It's the same fucking state.
No, it's not.
I'm
even
not
close.
sure that a comedy needs to be as correct in their interpretation of law as you guys are.
Yeah, that's cool. That's true.
And it doesn't
No,
even need
that's-
to be a real
No, that's a
state.
fair statement. No, that's a fair statement. Bird, if we updated this, we kind of talked about the Bundys. What about, okay, would you guys go the Jeffersons or the Darcys?
I don't understand the question. If
Oh,
if you're
that
updating,
would
if
be a
you're
great thing to do.
if you're
Hold on.
updating,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Bert.
I mean, just if you're updating Married with Children, then it's the Darcys. Why would it be anybody else?
Well, because remember, well, did I say the Jeopardy? Okay. Sorry, I said the Jeffersons. I meant to say the Rhodes. Because wasn't that her first name, Rhodes, and then
Marcy.
Marcy
Yeah, okay,
Rhodes.
yes. Would
Yeah,
you go with the
sorry,
first
I said
husband
I don't know
or
why.
the second?
Yeah, I made that was a slip up of me. I don't know why I said
Okay.
Jefferson. But no, the Rhodes or the Darcys. Where would you go, or would you try to put both of those, blend them in?
I
In a
mean, if
modern
you're
time.
doing a true whatever, you would start with the Rhodes and go to the Darcy eventually.
Well, I
A
would
season or
I would
two.
agree with that, Bird. But here's the twist I would make for a modern audience that would piss off and appease both sides. You make Marcy Darcy a trans person over the course of the series. So,
How would that
they
work?
okay, like first season, she's married to a guy, but Al is always making how she looks like a guy jokes. Okay? And how she
Like
must be
he
gay or
did back in
something.
the original.
Yeah, exactly. And then she discovers that she's actually trans, transitions into being a man, marries a woman, and then he starts making the same jokes, but now as you're a guy that looks like a chick. So he treats her the exact same way.
The only thing, no, Mike, the only thing I would change in that is him reminding her about the chick thing the way you said. I would say the reminders say, it's like, yeah, and you thought it was good being a woman, huh?
Yeah, and I would make it so,
isn't it? I mean, think about it. If you're gonna do a modern now, it's like, you think like, oh, and you thought it was good to be a woman, huh? What's it feel like to be on the real man's side?
on the men's side.
Yeah, exactly.
I would
If you see that, but and you see, here's the thing: your pitch on that works, and I would actually be cool with seeing that, because I can see that working where he's like, "Oh, so you're a man now? You think you can handle a woman?"
And I would still keep the Jefferson character as a Jefferson type character, as in, like, she's one of the boys. Does that make sense?
Which Jefferson are we talking about? Darcy?
Jefferson Darcy.
Jefferson.
We'd keep the when she transitions into being a man, the wife character is kind of like a tomboy-ish character and hangs around Al like Jefferson Darcy did. And Al doesn't have any sexual attraction to her whatsoever, despite the fact she might be hot, because she acts like one of the boys.
I can see
like
that
she
he's
drinks
like,
beer, she watches football.
I could see a modern Al being like, your body's a 10, but unfortunately, I can't sleep with you because you talk like one of the boys, and yeah, it just kills me for it. You're a 0 now. And her saying, thank you.
Exactly. That way you could have like an attractive person.
Jesus Christ, did we just put a pitch together for a modern?
Rich.
Jesus Christ, I think we just actually put a decent pitch together.
And because Marcy Darcy is an annoying character in and of themselves, not because they're trans, they're annoying because of who they are. I think that would be a good representation for the trans community as well.
Okay, how would Al make jokes about the trans thing that shit, what was Mr. Darcy's name? What the fuck was his first name? I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank here.
Steve
Darcy. Jefferson Steve. Oh.
No.
Darcy and then Steve Rhodes and Jefferson Darcy.
Okay. How do you think the jokes would flow about the trans thing to where Jefferson would still laugh? Because that was the key point, remember? He'd make a joke, Jefferson would laugh, and then Marcy would look at him, and he'd be like, go back to almost Steve Rhodes mode.
I got one for you. At least I don't have to stand that close to the toilet when I take a piss.
Yeah. I would say like similar to that. Plus the fact that, remember, Jefferson Darcy was a trophy husband. You make
yes, exactly
the trans person's wife a trophy wife who just happens to be a tomboy.
So how do we make Jefferson Darcy the trophy to a trans? What is her,
again?
Obviously,
he's like a gold digger, kind of like how Jefferson was.
Well, he's a moocher like all hell, but she was a banker. Are we going with the banker thing?
Real estate,
or maybe like either real estate or a tech startup type thing where she has she's got into Marcy Darcy's character has money for a small tech company.
Oh, the new Theranos.
So she's intelligent. Okay. Not that rich or that evil, but yeah.
Gotcha.
Call me crazy, but I think we actually made a pitch that could work.
And like Kelly, what I would do for Kelly is because she's we established that she would be like a social media person. Every social media fad she would be a part of, but not get. Like she would talk about
the dumb blonde thing. Trailing with the dumb blonde thing.
Yeah, she could be like, I'm gonna I'm vegan now. You're eating a cheeseburger. What do you mean cheeseburgers are vegan?
Because the cows are fed by grass, so like
exactly.
You are what you eat, so the cows are grass, so I'm eating grass.
Yeah, I just don't want. I wouldn't want Kelly to have that affirmation that Valley Girl accent. But yeah, exactly. You could do it, and it would actually work because she could do it without the Valley Girl accent, and not realize that's the whole point of the shit. Because she's in Chicago. Or wherever. Yeah, I would
easily, like emulate the fads.
Okay. Do we want to say, how do we want to hype up Al's 4 touchdowns in one game thing? Do we want to make that like it went viral on YouTube and that was his moment? His 15 minutes of fame, and
that works, dude. That works.
Oh, that works? You think that works?
Have it like, but here's how I would change it. He did score the 4 touchdowns and won the game, but the last play he fucks up royally, and that's the clip that's on YouTube.
Okay, I
So his whole thing
disagree
is,
with
I
that.
scored 4 touchdowns that game, and everyone always plays the damn clip of where I fell down and flattened my face and broke my nose or something. I don't know.
Or I dropped the
Or
ball.
No. Okay, here's why I disagree with that. And here's my only reason. Because when you look at it throughout the seasons, that was his moment of glory. I would say, get it going. It was viral on YouTube or whatever they want to call it. And that was his moment. Not an embarrassing moment. Not he did that and only everybody remembers that last thing. That's a 90s thing. I mean, come on. That's a 90s comedy trope there, Mike.
That's the point. He spiked the ball right
Okay, you know what?
before
I take it back.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
right.
saying,
I think you're right. That has to be his one crowning moment, is that his high school did show that game on YouTube or whatever. And, it was the most watched clip for his high school. And he scored the 4 touchdowns. So, yeah, I do think since he has to live in that moment for the rest of his life, I think that
yes,
you're right.
but also, what also is in that moment? What is also in that moment? Bubba Spare Tire Smith, baby. Because remember, Bubba said, I dropped you like third period French. That would be great, because if it was on YouTube, then you could do a recount of having Bubba Spare Tire Smith doing his thing. He's like, I dropped it. Look at that. Look at your knee. Your knee was down. That video was there. That fucking call was wrong. You know it. I know it. Something like that. That could really be. Jesus Christ. I can't believe I'm taking this seriously.
So you're giving OJ a chance at acting again?
OJ didn't play.
You know what?
No, I'm talking about the guy who played Hightower
I know.
from Police Academy.
I know.
That wasn't OJ.
Okay. And we all know that Hollywood writers are definitely watching my live streams. So for those that are watching, definitely write this up and just give us credit.
Writer's strike is over.
Exactly.
Yeah, the writer's strike's over, but like I said, if the actors don't get a deal this week, we're into next year. And like I said, guys, I know you disagree with me, but I'm okay with that. Look, here's the thing. I'm gonna say this. I don't know jack shit about unions. All I know is what people who've been in unions tell me. And it's been one of two things. They're really, really great, or they really, really suck. I ain't never heard a middle ground.
Some are good, some are bad.
Well, I ain't never heard some are okay. I've either heard they're great or they suck. And I mean, I'm like, okay, they're either really, really great or they really, really suck. I'm like, there's no in between. Not something I want to get involved in.
Well, what's funny about that is some of the stores that I go to, where before I became a Walmart rep, were union stores, right? And I would actually hear people in the same union saying the same thing about the union, and one of them would say, "Yeah, the union does this. Ain't it great?" And another person would be, "Yeah, the union's doing the same exact thing. It sucks." Kronos is complaining there's no one else in the chat right now.
I'm sorry, typers?
So if
Sorry,
you're watching, type something in the chat just to keep you Kronos happy. But what else have I'm trying to think of anything else I watched this week. I didn't have a lot of time to spend watching stuff.
Oh, I have a complaint. I wish to register a complaint about the South Park episode, Into the Panderverse. I do not feel I was properly pandered to. That shit was so fucking funny.
Did you see the
All right,
comment?
I haven't
Like,
seen it.
Oh
The best-
my god, Mike!
Mike, it was hilarious as shit. I mean, people are like, how could Sean and Parker do this? And the best comment was like, you know he's Jewish, right?
All right,
Eli,
I guarantee you, I will go. I will watch that specific one. I haven't watched anything since I think it was like the Memberberry / Tegrity Farm stuff.
Dude,
I haven't watched. anything.
it. Dude, I haven't watched a South Park in probably a decade. This is worth a watch.
This is hilarious as shit.
And you know, Captain, Eli, you know what you know what I love the most about that episode? I swear to God, I might blow your mind with this one.
KK?
The fact that they made fun of all the people still bitching about the IPs all these years later so fiercely. And here's why I'm saying that. I am on several Star Wars, Star Trek Facebook things. And all anybody's been doing is talking and bitching about Discovery, Lower Decks, Stranger Worlds. And okay, like the EU stuff. I go to the EU page and we're bitching about what Disney doing. Okay, that was fine a few years ago. We were all getting our frustration out. Here's the thing. Most of us have gotten it out of our system and we want to move on. And now I'm still going to those same EU pages, and me and several other people are like, dude, I didn't come to this EU page to talk about Disney. I came to talk about the books, the comics. Can we shut this shit down? We're tired of it now. That's what I love the most about it, because it was like, because I see people on Facebook, I see people on Twitter, I see people on YouTube still hung up on all this shit with the IPs. Okay, I get it. I get the Doctor Who thing. I get the Star Wars thing. I get the Star Trek thing. I get the Lord of the Rings thing. I get it. I really do. Here's a simple thing.
No, NB, I completely agree, because I was listening to some people review old horror movies. To the later Friday the 13th, the original Freddy Krueger, you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And inevitably, every single time they would get to anything like past the second or third movie, they would just start complaining about everything about the movies, comparing it to the stuff that happened later in Star Trek, Star Wars, all that kind of stuff. And they're like, yeah, every time a series goes on for too long, it just ends up sucking. They keep changing stuff. And it's like, oh my God, dude, I have to turn off the video and go to something else, because anything new apparently is crap. Even if that new thing came out in the 80s.
What I'm saying is, okay, what I'm basically saying is, like I said, I've been putting on Twitter, I've been saying it. I'm in my corner of the sandbox. I'm just sitting over here. I'm chilling. I don't want to be in these fights anymore. I don't want to be talking and bitching about Doctor Who next month. I'd rather actually talk about Doctor Who next month when David Tennant comes back. And instead of bitching about what happened with Jodie Whittaker and Chibnall, I want to hear how people thought the episode was. Not everything that bundled it. I mean, the fucking thing is older than Star Trek, for God's sakes. I'm like, can we stop trying to bring everything in the past up to this point and just say, did you enjoy the episode? Yes, but no. Did you enjoy the episode? Yes. Why? I want to get back to that kind of thinking. I'm done. I've vented all I'm going to vent.
Yeah, did Chinball write the script? Did he direct the episode? Why blame him?
I don't know. You see,
Well,
here's
Chibnall
the thing.
didn't do a very good job as showrunner, but what I'm tired of is when I haven't
here's
watched
the thing.
all of the new Doctor Who. I still go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people thought, shit, I'm a little stoned. Elihu helped me out. Prior to Jodie Whittaker, it was who?
Peter Capaldi.
Peter Capaldi. I really loved Peter Capaldi's first 2 seasons. I absolutely love. Yeah, see, that's why I knew you would know who I was asking about. Here's the thing for me, and I don't know how this is going to. I don't know if this will make sense, but I've watched as an American, I watched from William Hartnell to Peter Capaldi, and when I got to the Husbands of River Song. Honestly, I thought that was it. This is great. This is the end. And it's something I said where if anything happens afterwards, it sucks. This is where I would end it. Because I just thought it was great. Also because the actress is just a fucking dynamite bomb.
Alex Kensington.
Dude, she was the only reason I was watching ER. Hey, I got a thing for redheads. What do you mean? What's with?
Well, I'm not going to go on that one, but
still not ginger.
You know, my son I don't really get. Oh, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Well, see, I was going to say I didn't hate Jodie Whittaker's portrayal as the Doctor. I just thought that the writing was not up to par for everything released since Eccleston. I don't blame her for that.
Sorry, her scrunch face expression was overrated. I'm sorry. She tried to make it her own little Doctor thing, but yeah, it didn't work out. No, too much scrunch face.
But I'm not giving her shit for that. I'm giving the writers shit for that, and Chibnall shit for that.
I'm gonna be honest. I can't give Jodie Whittaker shit because I only saw 2 episodes of her, and you see, here's the thing: it wasn't her. It was actually that 3rd season of Peter Capaldi with Bill. I hated it. I hated Bill because Bill was. Okay, here's my problem with Bill. Besides the name, because I thought it was stupid. That was when really it felt like they were putting too much modern politics into escapism. That was really when I started to be like, when it was like, where's the president? She goes, I don't know the president. He's orange. I was like, oh my fucking God. I was like, really?
That's what they called Trump in England, the orange guy. Ask the vets.
Yeah, but why put him in there? Why even mention him? I mean,
probably for a joke.
Back in Eccleston,
I can't remember that exact.
No, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
If it was, I can't remember the exact line you're talking about, but if it was for a joke, it may have been a cheap shot, but that may have been how the humor about that, about him was made in England. I don't know.
No, it wasn't a joke. It wasn't a joke. They were actually they were government agents. And he said, we need to see the president. She goes, I don't know the president. He's orange. No, not the president of the United States, the president of the world. They were referring to the Doctor. So, no, it wasn't a joke. It was
I'll have to go back and watch it. It's been a while, but as I said, I still need to go back and watch it.
Look, I hated Bill's character. I hated Bill. As far as I'm concerned, Bill was the worst companion Peter Capaldi's doctor could have been involved in. Hey, I'm just saying.
Well, I don't
I
think
thought
she was.
sucked.
I didn't hate her, but I also didn't really like her. If that makes sense.
I like Jenna Coleman.
I said I didn't like her as Peter Capaldi's. Now, maybe she could have been better for somebody else's doctor. But my God, she was like literally the mouthpiece for political correctness. And it drove me nuts. I was like,
See?
this sucks.
Told you, that's why it was a huge thing over there.
Yeah, well, Yvette, for us over here, it's Orange Man bad. Yeah, we get it, but did it need to be in fucking Doctor Who?
Well,
They need to be in The Simpsons?
internationally, we were kind of a joke for those 4 years, so it kind of does make sense.
Yeah,
Oh,
laugh
really?
at
Oh, really? We were
The first,
We're kind of a joke now.
It's funny you say. It's
The
funny
first
you
US
say that.
president to get laughed
We
at
were
at
a
the
joke 4
UN.
years ago. What the fuck are we now on the world stage?
he was the first U.S.
What the
president to
fuck
get
are we
laughed at
now
the
on the
UN.
world stage, Mike? We're a fucking
right
joke.
now?
We're weak and we're a joke. So for all of you guys who fucking thought Trump was going to cause World War III, congratulations. You kind of maybe voted the guy in who's just going to let it happen. Hope you 87 million are happy with those no mean tweets.
Everybody says the next president's going to start World War III. Everybody says that.
No, they don't. They say every Republican is going to do it. But they sure hammered it home those 4 fucking years he was in office. And, okay, I'm really looking forward to the debates. I swear to God. Because his 4 years versus those 4 years, okay, where was Israel under Trump? The Abraham Accords. What's going on with Israel now? And you guys actually,
NB, we're not gonna go into that. We're not. We're gonna drop it because I have no interest in talking about it right now. Because let's face
I didn't bring it up. I just want to point it. I didn't bring it up, and I'm tired of hearing about it and not saying anything.
Well, you kind of did bring it up when we were talking about how you didn't like the politics being involved in Doctor Who.
No, I didn't like the Orange Man bad reference. That was all. That was really where I was going. That's what I was going with context of what I was saying with Bill, because it seemed like she was the mouthpiece for what was going on in the modern world on Doctor Who, when Doctor Who is not part of the modern world. I mean, it was like they were trying to bring everything in, like they said, they went to England at a certain time. They go, a lot more black. Oh, yeah, history's a whitewash. I don't know. Go ask the British if that's accurate.
That was funny. That was actually good. Yeah, British whitewash everything.
Oh, and I just realized Elihu actually changed his profile picture to the one with him with Capaldi.
Wow, and MB's the one who's stoned.
Well, he's right about that. On both accounts.
Fine, I'll change it back.
No, it was good.
But,
it was good for the topic we were talking about. When
does this 50th anniversary stuff come out?
I think it comes out this month, doesn't it?
Well, I was asking Yvette because she's still listening when the 60th episode comes out, or the 60th anniversary. Because as I said, I need to go back. I still haven't watched Flux. I stopped watching because I just wasn't that interested in it. But I want to catch up before the 60th. So when does the 60th anniversary stuff come out?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Apparently, Yvette wants me to shut up about Doctor Who.
Well, that's why I'm asking her. Because I know you won't know the answer. And Yvette, I need to send you something I did listen to. It was all about the missing tapes for Doctor Who. This guy did a great deep dive into how they reacquired a lot of the missing episodes, the history of it, and I'll see if I can find it on YouTube and send it to you because I don't know if you've seen it, but it was freaking awesome.
Yeah, one guy posted an episode on X, and I retweeted the hell out of it before it got took down.
All right, November 23rd, I'm screening it in my Cosme room for you guys as it's on Disney Plus. There, send me the links. You got my email.
Cosme.
And I'll send you the link to the. I don't get bored yet. It makes me sleepy. For Halloween, I'm going to be a sea turtle because I'll have a straw in my nose and a plastic bag in my face. Oh, haha.
Hey, man, don't mock sea turtles. I got attacked by one, okay?
Well, they got those big alligator turtles out in Texas.
Yeah, I know.
Those things are nasty.
Largest freshwater turtle on the planet.
And they could bite through your freaking finger all the way through.
I don't know their pressure.
Oh, God. I was watching, what was it? God, it was like one of those river monster shows where people were doing noodling. That's where you try to catch a catfish using your whole fist.
Yeah.
And God, it was the guy's putting his whole hand down in something, and he's like, "Oh, I think I got something," and then just screams bloody murder, and he pulls his hand out, and 3 of his fingers are fucking missing.
Ow.
And it was a fucking alligator turtle. I'm like, nope, can't watch this show no more.
Ow.
And apparently they cut, and after he starts screaming, and they said that after they cut for the show, his fingers just bob to the surface of the water and start floating.
I would get out of the water. I'm like, I'm done fishing.
Yeah, that talking about horror stories, that's definitely something that would be a horror story. That's a story I'd tell around a campfire to scare my kids.
Wow. As the scary kids go, at one time, you had to pay 10 cents a minute to talk long distance.
Oh, yeah, that would be something I could scare them with.
Oh my God.
That selfie picture would have filled up my entire hard drive.
You know, I remember LDs,
I mean,
they were like literally back in the 80s and 90s what roaming charges were. Yeah, you'd be on the phone with someone. Hey, dude. Oh, shit, I gotta go. I'm roaming. Click. What time is it? It's 6:59. Okay, call me with 7:05.
Yeah, prime time. Cheap rates.
Yeah, but peak hours is 7:05. I just want to make sure it's the right time. 7:05. Sally, how you doing, bitch? Like, you remember those days?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
No, what I thought was funny was one of my daughters was watching a TikTok, and it was some influencer on there found a payphone somewhere and thought it was hilarious to record herself calling her friend from a payphone and trying to explain to her, no, I put money into a phone on the street and I'm calling you from it.
Okay, that's kind of normal for me.
Well, the whole, like, the person on the line was just like, I don't get it. What do you mean you're calling me from the street? You're not on your cell phone. Like, no, I'm calling you from a phone I found on the street. Well, why are you give it back to the person you found it from? No, it's attached to the street. It was actually really funny because it's 2 people that have like never seen a payphone before, and having one of them describe what a payphone was to the other. It was actually really funny.
Okay, I
No,
guess I have it
what's
in there.
really funny is, and I can't find, I'm not going to sit here and try and find it, but this TikTok video was this lady, she goes, do you know there used to be a time where there was a book dropped off at your door. You didn't even have to pay for it. And it had phone numbers in it, everybody's phone number, everybody's address.
Actually, you did have to pay for it.
No, you did not have to pay for it. You had to pay to be enlisted.
No, to get the
No,
what-
you had to pay to be
what
enlisted.
I-
Yeah, that's
Never
the
paid
other
for
thing. You had to pay to.
you had to pay to get the phone book delivered to your house. Otherwise, you had to pick it up at the company itself for free.
No,
That's
it
not
didn't.
how it worked in New York.
No, it ain't
Why,
how it
what are
works.
you talking about?
I don't know where the fuck you been. I don't know where the fuck you been. I've been
Yeah,
in
in
shit ton of states. I
This
never
is
had
how
to
it
pay.
worked in Phoenix. This is how it worked in Phoenix.
Well, that may be how it worked in Phoenix.
Okay,
Sure
I'm
shit
telling
didn't work
you-
anywhere.
I'm telling you, Elihu, every year within the same month, we would have delivered to our doorstep a yellow pages and a white pages. And then about half the year through, we'd get another yellow pages that was smaller and to update the one that was delivered earlier. And yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. We had to pay, you had to go for it or you had to pay for it. It was never something we paid for.
No, you never paid for it. You never paid for it. What the
For the
fuck
delivery
you
service,
talking
yeah.
about?
Otherwise, you had to pick it up.
Like, if you had to pay for it in Arizona, then, well, you got fucked because you got New York, California, and me bouncing around everywhere. And every state I went in, the yellow pages showed up and nobody paid for it. But this lady was so freaked out. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying, this lady was so freaked out about the fact that that used to happen. And I stitched it and I said, it was called the yellow pages. I was like, the white pages were for personal addresses.
Residential?
The yellow for business, and the blue were for government. And I made a point of saying, that's why I was saying transition, which I said you didn't even have to worry about taking the book with you because you used to be able to walk down the street and go to a thing called a phone booth and find the yellow pages attached to it and find the number. And if you didn't find the number, you call 411, you just ask.
Yep.
Good old days.
Yeah,
I think 411 is still a thing too.
Well, yeah, 411 is still a thing, but what I mean is, I've had times where I said, okay, to someone, I was like, all right, what's 411? And they had no idea I meant information.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's 411? 411. Information. Where'd that come from? I'm like, you're just, I've come to a point where.
Well, back
I'm
in
going
the
to do
day,
that. I'm going to actually, next time I pick my kids up from school, I'm going to ask them, what's the 411? And when they don't know what that means, I'm going to tell them, call it on your phone.
Well, see, my kids know what
And
411 means. Well, the funny thing is my kids actually know what 411 means because I've been saying it to them since they went to school or even when they were in daycare. And they were young. They go, what do you mean 411? I was like, what's the information? And they know why I asked that and why the 411 and the reference. They might have forgotten it, but they still know what it means.
I don't know if my kids know that one. That's why I'm going to try it out.
No,
I know they're not listening in, so I'll be shocked if any of the Vile kids are listening in right now.
Oh wait, they're probably still asleep. It's only 10:35. They're still asleep.
It's entirely possible. I know at their little where they're at right now, they had a little trick or treating thing last night for the little kids because they're in a little community, and that way it would be on the weekends. And I know that Vile Style took out Turtle J.
Well, Terre
And yes, I'm
Haute
not using their real
is-
name.
Well, Terre Haute is doing 2 Halloween dates. They're doing one tomorrow, and my kids are going out that night. I don't know who's going out the 31st, if any of them.
I'm not. I have no plans to go out on Halloween. There's nothing really to do. I don't do the club scene or the bar scene. So I'm like, what's the point? The street party's
Hey,
off.
Hey, Elihu, question for you. It's about For All Mankind. I think this might be Ed's last ride.
Yeah, he's not gonna make the season 6.
You mean
Season
season
6.
5? Yeah,
No,
you mean season 5.
They have plans to go to season 6.
Yeah, but I don't think well, yeah, actually, Bird too. I
But
don't.
this is the
see
4th
it.
season coming up, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't see what the
I don't
time
think he's going to be there much.
No, because he's aging and the time is going progressively fast. So
Well, I want to say this. However it goes with Ed, I really think that a really touching moment would be at his funeral. Everybody's there, especially Danny. And after everybody, this is how I would like to see a funeral for Ed.
Which Danny?
the one who was responsible for the bombing, his kid.
No, his no. Am I
There's
saying
2
that?
Prouds. Should
No,
call
no,
one
no,
Danny and one
no.
Danielle.
Oh,
Danielle, yes, because remember, Danielle, Gordy, and Ed were all on
Hi,
Gordo.
Bob.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I was going.
hi Bob.
That's where I was going with that with Danny. And it would really be nice if at the end of it, if this is the last one, however it goes out, it's a funeral and everybody, things are all done. And Danny is the last one there. And before it fades out, the last words out of her mouth are, "Bye, Bob." I think that would really be impactful.
Yeah, because the whole hi Bob thing. Yeah.
Because Gordo, that was Gordo, Ed's, and Danny's thing. And if he's gone, there's no more Hi Bob for her anymore. It would fit, I think.
Yeah, no, you got it. That would be.
All right. I think I'm actually going to end the stream because I have to load just something nasty right now.
Hey.
So,
Just point that thing out the window and go.
Yeah, dude. Come on, please.
no,
Or just step out the
I got to go
fucking
inside.
car.
I got to go inside for this. All right.
Oh, it's ice.
All right.
It's a
At
deuce.
least not on an airplane.
So, which one should I play us out on? Or should I
Dude,
just
if you
stick
got to
with
drop a
games?
deuce, figure it out for yourself and get going.
All right. We'll just stick with a normal.
Singing for voices.
Hail the Klingons, hoorah! Open Klingon style. Klingon style. Open Klingon style. Klingon style. Open Klingon style. Hey, sexy Klingon style. Open Klingon style. Hey, sexy Klingon style.
Klingon style.
All right. You're 19 years old now. I figure it's about time you got one after all your complaining.
Die, Daddy.
All right. Later, folkses.
Later.